Resolution R2619, the Fitchburg Common Council approved the plan to address global climate change, identifying energy efficiency as a chief priority for Fitchburg. And whereas energy efficiency, defined as using less energy to perform the same tasks, is the cheapest, quickest, and cleanest way to meet Fitchburg's energy needs, avoid dangerous pollution, reduce utility bills for residents and businesses in our community. And whereas the energy efficiency industry supports over 2.2 million jobs in the United States, more than twice the jobs in fossil fuel industries. And whereas implementing energy efficiency and other clean energy policies and programs can help boost economic opportunities and job creation, reduce the burden of disproportionately high energy bills on lower income residents, making energy efficiency a driver of increased equity. And whereas the International Energy Agency has estimated that energy efficiency alone could help us to meet half of the emissions reduction targets set by the Paris Climate Accords. And whereas Wisconsin's focus on energy incentive program for energy efficiency and renewable energy has returned over $5 in benefits to Wisconsin residents for every $1 invested in the program since 2001, delivering over $1 billion in net benefits to the state for the past decade. And whereas a nationwide network of energy efficiency groups and partners has designated the first Wednesday in October as National Annual Energy Efficiency Day. And whereas together we can continue to contribute to our sustainability efforts by learning more about energy efficiency and practicing smarter energy use in our daily lives. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Mayor Aaron Richardson, along with members of the Fitchburg Common Council, do hereby recognize October 5th, 2022 as Energy Efficiency Day in the City of Fitchburg, urging all Fitchburg residents to join us in pursuing energy efficiency as a means of achieving our clean energy goals, moving towards a more sustainable future. Proclaim this 27th day of September 2022. And I do have a few notes from our sustainability specialist, Phil Groupie. And a couple of things here. As noted, the Council passed Resolution 2019 setting energy and greenhouse gas reduction priorities for the City of Fitchburg over the coming decades. And while the energy targets received the most attention from the resolution, equally important is the clause, which reads as follows. Given the city's first choice for meeting energy needs is energy efficiency measures that reduce both operating costs and carbon footprint, the city will prioritize energy efficiency and conservation as a means of rapidly reducing the need for centralized fossil energy generation. And so in the past few years, this focus on energy efficiency has taken a lot of different forms. One is a retro commissioning study that resulted in multiple upgrades to our HVAC and building lighting systems, a new fund created to assist with the purchase of more energy efficiency fleet vehicles, accelerated transition of outdoor lighting to LED fixtures, ongoing assessments of how Fitchburg can further reduce energy usage to save on costs and cut back on carbon emissions. And Fitchburg contributed to the creation of Dane County's 2020 Climate Action Plan, which stressed the importance of energy efficiency to our climate goals. The city has earned multiple Dane County Climate Champions Awards in 2020 for energy performance in city buildings. So the energy efficiency industry continues to grow at a rapid pace. Efficiency measures are an increasing focus of national legislation, such as the ARPA, American Rescue Plan Act, and also the Inflation Reduction Act. And they seek to meet our climate goals while also providing significant economic benefits. So as such, Fitchburg will continue to seek out opportunities to promote energy efficiency for both our businesses and our residents through promotion of the state's highly successful focus on an energy incentive program, but also other partnerships and opportunities. And staff will continue to periodically review the city's buildings, fleet, and infrastructure for potential efficiency improvements. So again, he just passes along his thank you for our citywide recognition of this very important national effort. All right, one more. We are also recognizing the second Monday in October as Indigenous Peoples Day in Fitchburg. Whereas Native Americans have inhabited this continent and this region since time immemorial, with Wisconsin being home to 11 federally recognized Native nations and 1 federally unrecognized nation. And whereas Indigenous Peoples Day began in commemoration of 500 years of survival and renewal of Indigenous nations in the face of genocide, colonization, political, religious, and cultural repression. And whereas this indigenous culture was disrupted and destroyed in Fitchburg and all parts of this hemisphere, and yet indigenous people have survived. And whereas the city of Fitchburg will support indigenous nations' struggles for social and environmental justice, religious freedom, and tribal sovereignty. And whereas the city of Fitchburg honors our country's indigenous roots and history, And on this occasion, we strongly encourage all businesses and residents to recognize, celebrate, and cultivate stronger relationships with Indigenous peoples and Native nations. Now, therefore, I, Aaron Richardson, Mayor of the City of Fitchburg, along with members of the Fitchburg Common Council, do hereby proclaim Monday, October 10th, 2022 as Indigenous Peoples Day in Fitchburg. Proclaim this 27th day of September, 2022.
Mayor?
Yes.
I just want to make the suggestion that in future years we make an outreach to the members of the Ho-Chunk Nation to invite them when we make this proclamation, just because we're standing on Ho-Chunk land right now.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good idea.